Hi everybody, it's Annette from The Art of Intuition, and today we are going to discuss fixing a reality and why we try to fix a reality and what happens to us when we try to fix a reality and why fixing a reality normally does not fix anything. But why do we even try to do it in the first place? I know recently I've been faced with a reality which I was dead set on trying to fix. And no matter what I did to try to fix the reality, it just spun farther and farther and farther out of control, and it got worse and worse and worse. And then you try to fix that. It's like when you have a hole in the boat. You try to patch one hole in the boat, then another hole comes up. You try to fix one thing and something else starts to break, and you kind of start doubling down on trying to fix it. You start doubling down on trying to plug all the leaks. And why does it start to happen? When we create a reality and we find ourselves in a reality and we will say, well, I would never create this. Why did I create this? And that's a zillion reasons why we create a reality. And there's a zillion reasons why normally when we're in one we're not enjoying, we don't see why we created it. Because we're clearing out programming relating to how that got created. We're clearing out all our misconceptions about that reality. We are clearing out so many different catalysts, ego programming on why we created it in the first place. What are we trying to clear? Or are we trying to clear something old? I talked a while ago about mirroring realities or revisiting them or repeating them. And sometimes when we revisit one, we almost have this our ego will try to jump in and fix where the other one went wrong. Especially if like I said, we're doing like a soft reboot of a reality. And we see it and we're like, oh my gosh, let me just go in and if I had just done this last time, if I just done it this way last time, the whole thing would have gone a different direction and it wouldn't have ended up the way it did the first time. So I wouldn't have to revisit this one again. So we have this preconceived notion almost. It's in our DNA, and that's why we revisit these realities, because it's in our DNA. It's trapped, in a sense. How we did a reality before, it's trapped in there. And we have to see something again, and we don't even realize it was trapped. And then we remember that reality. We remember what happened. And because we still hold that, we'll start kind of reprojecting it out, almost reliving it again, and then trying to do it a different way. It's almost like those books I read when I was younger where you'd pick an adventure and you do it one way and end up, and then you could go back and re-pick another one and go a different direction. So we try to do it differently. But a lot of times we can be in a big rush to try to fix it. We also will do this when we're in a reality we don't want to be in. We're trying to rush through it. The rush through. We're trying to get through it so fast that we don't really even have a moment to understand why we're in it. We don't take that moment to connect in. We don't take that moment to really look at this reality and see, why do I have to do this? Why is this so important? Because our human ego is going to say, well, we have a zillion other things we have to be doing. This is not a reality I wanted. It's like, but we have it. It's like it or not, want it or not, need it or not, we just got it. And we sit there and we don't want to do it. So we try to rush through it. We try to fix it. We try to expedite it. We try to take a time frame and make it quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker. And I know we talk a lot about quantum jumping and shortening different realities, because we can see the reality as it's being created and see all the signs that it's not a reality we want to experience. And we can shorten those, but we don't shorten them because we don't want to experience them. We shorten them because we have experienced them, and we see all the signs that it's going to go the same way again, based on who's in the reality with us. So a relationship we might have stayed in for 5 years before, and now we might stay in it for 3 weeks and go, okay, I see that this is not balanced. I see all the issues with this reality. I don't need to sit here any longer. And that's a little different than what I'm talking about here. Because when we get into these revisits and we get into wanting to fix it, we get into wanting to speed it up, you're going to find yourself almost chasing your tail. Just, because the realities are already a revisit, which means to me, it means they're projecting out Now we're recreating it for us to redo it again. We're getting a redo. We're going to revisit it because we got to clear something out. But they feel very thin. I don't know another way to put that. They seem very thin. We can't even really believe we're in it again. And we just want to be done. You know, because a lot of times these revisits are ones that we didn't enjoy the first time. You know, so we get in them again and we're like, I don't really want to do this one again. We'll understand why, normally not till we're on the other side of it. I always say when we're about to exit our reality, we know why we were there. Or we're about to exit out even a part of that reality. We're closing out a part of it. We might not close out the whole thing yet, but there's one of our roles is starting to close out. Our resistance is dropping to being in the reality. We can see why we're there. We start to understand. And that clarity doesn't come until then because we have to work through all the programming in the way of that clarity. So when I caught myself trying to fix it and it just kept spiraling more and more and more out of control, I could see what I was doing. I was trying to rush through it. I had this time frame, right? Like I have to get this fixed in the next 4 days. I have to get this done in the next whatever it was. It doesn't matter what our time frames are. There are no time frames for realities. Now I will say, you know, most realities I find myself in 2.5 to 3 years before I can set up a template to go to my next one. You know, a lot of the ones we get in when we start building our new templates, building our new earth realities, building our soul line realities, we can set in some for 2.5 to 3 years, sometimes longer, because that's how long it takes. So that doesn't mean that every reality, there are a lot of sub parts to those realities. The one I'm experiencing now is kind of a sub part to that reality, where I don't feel like it'll be around for 2.5 years, but I also understand that me trying to rush through it because I'm not enjoying this part will just make it last longer because we're resisting the reality. We're not really enjoying while we're there. We're not really seeing the beauty of while we're there. And even the shittiest realities, we're there for a reason. Even if we're going to say this is kind of shitty, I don't really want to revisit this, we're there, we're revisiting it for a reason. There's no pointless realities we have to go through. The only pointless realities we have to go through are the human ones in a sense, and they're in a way not pointless either, because everything we did in our human realities did prepare us for our higher line realities later. Every skill we had contracts to do, so even they weren't pointless. Though once you get to certain points of ascension, they feel pointless because they were based on systems and beliefs that weren't even real. So that's why they start to feel pointless to us. Even though they weren't pointless, there was a reason we were there. There was a reason we were doing them. There was a reason we were in the middle of them. You know, there's a reason for all of it. But we can't fix something to speed it up. We can't fix any reality. We can take part in it. We can try to align it. And what I was doing was trying to say I was aligning it, but I was really trying to fix it. So I'll probably actually be how I'm going to talk about this video. Am I trying to align this or am I trying to fix it? If I'm trying to do it on a time frame, I'm trying to fix it. If I'm doing it because I don't want to experience it anymore, I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to speed through it. Am I trying to align it from a very connected place on what is aligned from a soul level, or am I trying to align this on a human level? Am I trying to, you know, am I trying to get it to conform to something that it's not going to conform to? You know, what is the end game for me? You know, what am I trying to do? So when you really start to weigh it, you know, fixing and aligning, the words are so different. They're going to roll off your tongue. They have a different vibrational frequency to both of them. You know, what am I trying to do? Am I trying to fix it? Am I trying to align it? Look at what's driving you. I've said it a zillion times. It's always the energy behind why we're doing it. And the energy behind what I'm doing it for is I'm trying to speed through it. I don't want to experience this reality. You know, I don't want to go through it. But everything we revisit, everything that we go back through, there's a reason to unearth stuff that has to clear, that's holding us back from other realities. We don't even realize they are there. And now the cat is getting all up in filming in a different place today. And of course the cat has to blend in with the stuffed animals. Always have to be on camera. So, aligning and fixing. We have to take great care as to really looking at trying to fix it. And once I even realized I was trying to fix it, I could stop. And then when I had something else kind of start spiraling out, I almost went to the go-to of trying to fix that. And I'm like, no, stop. Stop trying to fix it, you know. I had to really kind of rein myself back in and really connect in and say, okay, what is aligned here? Aligned here is going to look nothing like human alignment. Soul alignment does not look like human alignment. You're trying to fix to a human, if you're trying to align to a human belief or a human reality, I'm trying to fix it. I'm trying to fix it back to something. If I'm trying to align it on a soul level, it might not look like that. And when I'm in the middle of it, if I'm frustrated with the reality, I've got to work through all those emotions first till I can get back to, okay, what is aligning this look like? Because I can't see it. It blocks our sight. It blocks what we're able to see. It blocks what we're able to do. Because we get so frustrated on, I want it to look a certain way, and when it's not looking that fucking way, I'm getting mad about it, and I'm just trying to, doubling down and fixing it more. It's like that old Disney cartoon, Mickey the Sorcerer, when he kept doing one thing and it set something else up, and you have to clean that up, and then something else happened. It's like the domino effect. You know, we kick one domino down because we're pissed off and frustrated, and they all start to fall. And then we get even more frustrated, and we just double down. And now we're just taking all the dominoes, and we're just, you know, trying to level all of them, trying to tear down the whole reality. When the reality itself it's a gift for us. This reality is a gift. When we're into some deep stuff, when it's bringing up a lot of emotions, they are very important realities. It's very important that we look at them like that, and we give them that, we honor them in that way. You know, we don't get frustrated with every piece of it, you know, that doesn't go the way we want it to. Because when we look at this older stuff again, ancient stuff that feels very ancient to us, we have to respect the reason it's there, and not try to fix it back to how we wanted it to go the first time. The outcome of the reality might be the same as it was the first time you were in it. If it's a revisit, it might not change. But the energy behind how you come to it is going to be 100% different, and it's going to be a more peaceful process when you get there. Whether it's people in your reality and you're trying to fix and rush to a certain conclusion, we have to also look at everyone else there. They might not be ready to go there yet. We don't want to pull them somewhere they're not ready to go, because it's going to go the opposite direction. We can look at anything we're doing. And if we're trying to control someone else's behavior, or manipulate someone else's behavior because we don't like the behavior, it's not what we want it to be, we're now kind of overstepping a little bit. You know, how can I support? What can I do? What can I do to really get in this reality and assist in it? What am I supposed to do? If we don't know that, and we're not connecting enough inside yet, let the emotions clear about why we're here. Let the emotions clear about the reality. Stop trying to fix it. Just be with it. If it takes weeks, if it takes a month, just be with it, and try to really be with it and clear all the emotions that are coming up with it. Whether it's shame, whether it's guilt, whether it's anger. Look at why we're there. Look at, why is this coming up again? What do I need to clear? What do I need to do? And let me really focus on that, and not try to focus on fixing it. Our humans are going to try to fix. Our soul's going to try to align. Higher aspects are going to align, but align to us on a soul level, not fixed to some human belief, some human roadmap, you know, some human construct. We think it's supposed to look like this. If it doesn't look like this, it's not right. We have to be careful with that, because if it's a human belief we're trying to go back to, then we're not trying to align something on a soul level. We're just trying to almost sweep it under the rug so we can go on, because we don't want to be in it. There's going to be a lot of realities you're going to get back into, revisit, repeat, see again, go places you don't want to have to go, do a lot of things you don't want to have to do to clear out all this stuff, because we cannot walk as higher aspects with all that shit weighing us down. That's the difference between ascension and embodying your soul aspects and your galactic aspects. That's the difference between doing it and just meditating and touching those aspects for a little while. That's the difference. We have to live it, but we can't become those aspects. We're in the middle of being everything but those aspects. You know, we have all this garbage in our way. We have all this old stuff that has to clear. If we have mommy issues or daddy issues, or, or inner child issues or whatever it is, we can't become these higher aspects. We have to work through all this stuff. And the process of working through all this stuff means we get a lot of stuff thrown at us. And a lot of the realities when we're clearing this stuff, we don't like them. And we're trying to speed through them. We're trying to fix it back to something. We're trying to get, especially if you've had a real peaceful run for a while and then you get hit with something and everything's fucking chaos and you just want to kind of go back to the peace. We have the peace to recalibrate. We have the peace to reset our template, to up our template. Upgrade, and then everything that's not part of that new upgrade has to clear. And if we get into some older ancient stuff, and it can be stuff in this reality, our human existence, it can be our multidimensional stuff. Normally you'll feel to me it's a stronger pull when it's in my human reality, older things I had done, that sometimes they feel stronger to me. Multidimensional stuff will. It's going to be different on that, depending on where you are in your process. But don't be afraid to really set in a reality and realize all the good stuff it's giving us and all the gold it's giving us, in a sense of what it's unearthing for us to look at, what opportunities are going to open up from these realities and what we can clear, and then see what comes after that. Rushing through them, it just doubles down. They're so paper thin, and when you start getting to these points, the reality is you realize they're so paper thin anyway. Anything you do just punches a hole right through it, and then you have a lot of holes in the reality. What can just lead to more chaos, and what you thought was going to make it better made it worse. And also look at the energy behind when you try to fix it. If you're nervous, I gotta fix it now, I gotta fix it now, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I can't wait, I gotta get all this stuff done. That's the whole, you're now constructing the whole timeline on that energetic frequency, which means you're going to go more chaotic. So take a beat. Take a beat. Take a seat. Take a beat. Connect in and see, okay, what is aligned? If you can't see it yet, don't try to align it yet. Just be with the reality. Go through the ebbs and flows of it. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to align it. You can't fix it anyway. Fixing it's just trying to tape up a distorted fucking reality anyway. We want to align it to a higher frequency, not just duct tape over the problem and say, okay, now we're good, let's go on. We really have to get to the bottom of them. And that is not quick sometimes, most of the time, especially when we get into the older stuff. It's not quick. If we've been carrying this stuff for a long time, there's this, fallacy, this misconception that you get to ascended realities and everything is so smooth. We still get hit with curveballs. If you're hit with a curveball right now, which a lot of us kind of have this beginning of 2024, which is very quiet, and it was like nothing going on. It's like, no, we're waiting, we're upgrading, our templates are rewriting, everyone just it's kind of set, No one has to do anything yet, just set and wait. And a lot of us did, we were waiting, and not really waiting, but just not really doing what we thought we were going to be doing. And then it feels like we're getting hit with 100 different curveballs because our templates have upgraded, and now what's not aligned with that template has to clear to go. And it feels earlier this year. Usually this stuff starts happening in June. You start looking at stuff that has to go before you can get into the 2025 templates. This year it feels quicker. It feels like it's almost starting now. Like, okay, no, we're going to start a little bit early because we got a lot we got to do. Usually the more you have to do to clear, the bigger your jump's going to be, the bigger your upgrade's going to be. So get excited about that. And don't get so bogged down on trying to make it look a certain way and trying to fix it into something so you can just be done with it and move on. It should be a peaceful exit. Anything you leave highest aligned is a peaceful exit. It's not a pressuring to make a choice. It's not you're not under a crunch. The only way you're ever going to be under a crunch to make any type of choice to align anything is when that happens when we have just completely ignored every opportunity we've had to try to align it. And we've had time, we've had money, and we refuse, and then then the reality will collapse and we'll have to. But that's the only time we're going to feel rushed and pressured to make a choice because we let it set. If you're not doing that, you're not letting it set. There's a difference between letting it set and letting it breathe and really feeling why you're in it. There's a big difference in those energies. So feel which one you're doing and keep practicing the art of intuition.